We are now with the Human Relations Commission. I'll note that Councilman Stein, Councilman Hager, and Councilman Pridemore are here. And Mel, if you could introduce yourself. I think tell us a little bit about yourself for the viewers at home, and you're new in your position, and then make whatever budget presentation you'd like to make.
Great, thank you. My name is Mel Fowler-Green. I'm the new and proud Executive Director of the Metro Human Relations Commission. And I was to have today, in support of our budget requests, some of our commissioners. I'm hoping that they will trickle in. First, I want to thank you for this opportunity to formally introduce myself and discuss the work that the Commission will do in the next fiscal year and beyond under my direction. I come to the position with varied experience. For a few years, I studied and taught women's studies and intersectional race and gender discrimination. I then worked as a public interest attorney for 15 years, advocating on behalf of marginalized communities all over the South, including immigrants and farm workers, victims of race discrimination, victims of labor trafficking, and on behalf of LGBT individuals and their families. I have done direct representation and policy analysis. I bring an interest in and dedication to some solid evidence-based policy making, impactful community education, and to measurable results. My hire came after the Commission engaged in some soul-searching and some robust planning that resulted in the adoption of a plan focused on advocacy, compliance, and education. They call it the ACE plan. It reflects the foundational mission of the Commission. It provides a broad but grounded guidance regarding the Commission's priorities for the future. And of special note, the priorities in the ACE plan include a stronger emphasis on advocacy and grounded policy recommendations than in recent Commission history. So that is to say that I think that you will see a shift in the Commission's work in the next few years, starting with this fiscal year. In line with this priority directive, our office is launching an inclusion, diversity, and equity assessment initiative. We call it the IDEA Initiative. It's a program to gather and analyze qualitative and quantitative data in order to engage in evidence-based education and social policy recommendations. Through the initiative, our office will produce an annual State of Human Relations report to document the city's progress in meeting its goals on opportunity, equity, and inclusion, using measurable benchmarks and setting goals for reducing disparities and increasing equality. This kind of report is it's expressly authorized as a Commission activity in the Metro Code, but furthermore, it's the type of annual report that was a key initiative recommended by Nashville Next in the Equity and Inclusion Background Report, and it's my understanding that Nashville Next will ultimately recommend in its plan the creation of an annual report of the type that my office contemplates. You know, Nashville has long been a leader in civil rights in the South. I think that the creation of this commission is just one small testament to that. But, excuse me, Nashville's on a national stage now. I mean, the country is watching Nashville's growth, watching to see that it's sustainable, that it's fair, that it doesn't leave vulnerable communities behind. And an annual assessment that provides clear benchmarks and clear measures is, I believe, vital to ensuring that Nashville shows the rest of the country how to be the it city for all of its residents. The Commission believes that with proper leadership, with proper staff and financial support, that our office is the natural place to develop and publish this kind of annual report in collaboration with community partners with whom we already have solid relationships. In addition to the annual report, the IDEA initiative will also lead to the development and dissemination of focused briefing papers and policy recommendations to inform concerned citizens and to advise relevant policymakers, including City Council and Metro department heads. Furthermore, the data that's gathered and analyzed will provide signposts for my own department on what issues are most pressing important to the Nashville community so that we can be thoughtful and impactful and responsible stewards of the people's money when we're planning our programming. Also pursuant to the ACE plan, our office will continue its important work in education, in community building across racial, ethnic, and religious communities, and in developing innovative ways to address access and opportunity barriers for underserved communities. This coming year, we will sponsor and participate in events and other programming that foster racial and economic justice, as well as religious and cultural tolerance. We will, however, be focusing our attention on events and programming that will allow for data gathering in addition to community relations. This year, we'll see the full implementation of the Babel line, a phone-based translation system to assist thousands of LEP families by giving them access to recorded translations and descriptions of documents that are sent home by Metro Public Schools. We're also developing a plan to open up that system for other Metro departments to use. We'll launch an online platform that helps Davidson County residents find needed services from nonprofits and government agencies. We're launching very imminently a online platform that provides a graphical representation of up-to-date data regarding diversity within Metro's workforce as a companion piece to our recently released Inclusivics Diversity Report. And we'll also research and implement a plan for providing multilingual signage in as many Metro facilities as possible. And as for compliance, our office has this past year developed a streamlined compliance program that allows residents with discrimination complaints to lodge their complaints and seek referrals online. The system also provides for a more sophisticated method for our office to respond and to track critical data over time. We're also going to improve our Title VI training and outreach to ensure that Metro employees and department heads are sufficiently equipped to avoid and then to remedy any perceived or real discrimination in the delivery of Metro services. So I know that our goals are ambitious, and they require a reasonable increase in financial support through the mayor's budget. We're requesting three things in that regard. One, an increase of $27,000 in salaries. Our staff has to be highly self-motivated. They have to engage in conflict resolution, sophisticated community organizing, data gathering and analysis, and we have to be able to produce solid policy recommendations. With a staff of only 4, including myself, it's important that all of our staff members be able to engage in this kind of substantive work. So in order to recruit and retain staff with sufficient skill sets and educational backgrounds, 2 of our positions need to be brought in line with comparable positions in the nonprofit and private market. The budget modification that we're seeking will go a long way toward doing that, and it comes at a really critical time because 2 of our positions need to be permanently filled imminently. So I will be engaging in recruitment and retainment efforts. We're also asking for $20,000 to contract a professional social policy writer, somebody to do and assist us in doing impactful translational social research, to guide us in our IDEA initiative, to ensure that the evidence-based reporting, our briefing papers, our publications, to ensure that they are in line with social science best practices. Our staff can do a lot of the data gathering, but we need to consult with a professional social science scientist. I've conferred with some respected social science professionals about our plan, including current Commissioner Dan Cornfield and hopefully soon-to-be Commissioner Dr. Oscar Miller. And based on those consultations, I believe that the financial request we're making in this regard is realistic and will support our goals. Finally, we're respectfully requesting that our department not be subject to the proposed 3% reduction this fiscal year. I know that 3% sounds inconsequential on the whole, but
It hasn't sounded inconsequential to anybody.
I'm sure it hasn't. But I will just say that with the department, with the budget of our size, it's a pretty big hit. And I'm sure.
That's the most direct and clear response to that.
Thank you. It also has the benefit of being true. So we have now, I think, committed commissioners. We have new leadership. We have a newly adopted plan. And so I think that the cut, I think that given all those things, I think that the commission is really poised to enter into a period of productivity and effectiveness that I'm convinced will provide true benefit to Nashville's diverse community. So I don't want to see the proposed cut impose a hardship on our doing that. In closing, I want to thank you for this opportunity today. I've enjoyed myself far more than I thought I would. And today.
Oh, okay. Just checking. Would you like a cookie? We'll run in a joyous upbeat.
But I also want to thank you on behalf of the whole commission for the commitment that your administration has shown to diversity and to opportunity for all Nashvillians. I think that the Diversity Advisory Committee is just a more recent example of that. By the way, I'm very honored to serve on that committee. And I hope that today I've inspired confidence in the commission's future and that the commission will receive the necessary support that it needs for its ambitious plans. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
So for the IDEA program, it's $20,000, and that would go out, I would assume, for like a competitive bid. Would that be how that would be done?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And then at the end of the day, the product you get would be used to do what?
Three things. One, to produce an annual State of Human Relations report that provides data reflective of where we are, and that also includes some proposed measures for tracking for the next year. It will also result in targeted briefing papers on specific issues that may address, immediate concerns that are, let's say, before the City Council, or if our data reveals some clear policy recommendation that we can make on a particular issue, we will produce a briefing paper or a clear policy recommendation for dissemination. It will also provide my office with guidance and benchmarks on where we should be spending our limited time and limited financial budget.
Okay.
And I might say that I intend to consult with many of the folks who produced the Equity and Inclusion Background Report to Nashville Next, because I would like to see our State of Human Relations annual report be the kind of report that Nashville Next will recommend.
Okay. Rich?
Well, I would just ask, to kind of follow up on that, I would just ask if you've obviously made a strong case for both improvements.
Thank you.
but we don't always get everything we want. I don't know yet where we're going to be in this, but is there a priority between those two? If you had to choose, I know I always hate to ask them that, but it's helpful for us to, as we go through this process, to know if you had to prioritize between those two, how would you prioritize?
Well, I had made the decision to prioritize the staff improvement first.
Okay.
Yes.
You're going to post those and go through the whole recruiting search process on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I like a direct answer.
Good, thank you. I like giving direct answers.
I noticed.
Well, welcome, and we're glad you're here.
Me too.
And you do important work, and you're going to do great. Your chair is here, Frank True, who,
Introduce your board members.
Yes, actually, I have several board members. Should I
Sure.
quickly introduce them? Okay, Frank True is our current board chair. And Tasha French-Lemley is our current treasurer. We have Avi Poster, who is our, nope, he's not here yet, sorry. And Jeff Gibson, who is one of our new members. I'm very excited. He's the chair of our advocacy committee, so I'm going to keep him busy.
good. Well, thank you. She did, but before you got here, it was dynamite. And she continued to do very, very well. So it was a good presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.